Hi there. In this video, I want to give you a better understanding of the essential steps involved with our due diligence in finding a profitable site to develop. This requires a lot of research, patience, and assessing many sites. For example, we may look at 20 sites of which only one meet our criteria and is profitable to develop. It basically boils down to numbers on whether a site can be developed and meets our specific targeted profit. We want our sites to be easy to build on, for example a flat block, in a great location and profitable. These are the following steps we use when looking for specific sites. Step 1, the first question is, how do we find sites? There are two ways, off-market deals and on-market deals, and I just want to explain the difference. Off-market deals are potential properties that are not listed for sale on various websites such as realestate.com and domain.com. This is where you deal directly with the vendor. We do this by way of direct mail to the vendor and have a series of follow-up letters over a 3 to 6 month period. We build rapport with all the agents and property advocates in the area and let them know that we are looking for specific properties off market. We send them information on exactly our criteria we're looking for, and they contact us when sites come across their desk. With on-market deals, we consistently look through realestate.com and domain.com for specific sites. In addition, we contact all local agents every 10 to 14 days to see if they have any new specific sites coming across their desk off-market or on-market. Step 2, once we have found a suitable site, then we do an initial site analysis. This can be done in a few hours to see if the site has initial potential to be developed. We first use a program called Dial as you dig, which allows us to see all the services. It is essential that we need to know where the stormwater, sewer, water and telecommunication connections are on each site. Depending on where these services are, this could impact us from proceeding with the development, or it could create a significant increase in cost, ultimately making the development site not viable. Secondly, we use our advanced site analysis property programs. This allows us to access any overlays that could limit our development site. For example, coastal, wetland, flood and biodiversity overlays. Any of these could stop us from doing a CDC development and force us to do a DA with the local council, which is a strategy we do not want to do. Other things we look at are, is it a flat block? Does the site slope from the road or away from the road? That's very important because if it slopes away from the road, it becomes very difficult to develop, as you often require permission from the neighbour behind with an easement, which they may not allow you to do. If the site is steep, then it will increase building costs, which has to be taken into account. Trees can be problematic, so we may need to engage an arborist, as some trees may be protected and are unable to be removed. Step 3. Once we have done the initial site analysis and the site looks favourable, we will then send information across to our expert consultants. The consultants we use are part of a team that have over 20 years experience in approving CDC dual occupancy and creating CDC 3 into 4 homes from a single dwelling. The consultants we use are either a town planner or a CDC designer or architect to design our plans for the site. We also engage very early on a quantity surveyor to give us an estimation of the build cost. In addition, we engage our builder and civil engineers in the early stages to get an accurate approximation of the initial build cost, which should match our quantity surveyor's report. Engaging these consultants is critical at this early stage so our construction costs don't blow out. Step 4. Once we have a green light that this meets the CDC rules from our town planners, preliminary plans from our architects and draftsmen, and approximate building costs of the development, we can then move forward and do a detailed feasibility. The feasibility has every itemised cost that the development will incur. This includes purchase price, stamp duty, legal fees, consultant fees, council contribution fees, total interest for the complete development, agents fees, marketing and even a 5% contingency fee built into every project. Once we collect that information, we put it into our feasibility with our conservative projected sales of the finished product. This will give us a very accurate number of the profit for each deal. If after all this work, we and our consultants give the development a green light, then we start to negotiate with the vendor, the sales price, and the possibility of a delayed settlement with early access to minimise our costs. A typical CDC approved development built and sold for a dual occupancy or 3 homes on one block can take anywhere between 12 to 15 months. Each project varies, but the faster we build it, the more profit is made as we pay less interest on the construction loan. I hope this gives you more of an insight into how we assess specific sites, and the next video will briefly go through how we purchase the site.